All right. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Kingdom of the Kael Isles. Yes, this is my first uh, custom D&D campaign, and the people you see below me are the people that have been playing. Some of which, for I believe we've hit. I know we've hit three. We may have hit 4 years already. I'd have to look it up again. But yeah, we've been playing for years, which is nuts. And yeah, cool stuff happens. You may notice Fade looks awfully owlbear-ish. Uh, his player's running a little bit late, and I had to reset up everything. So he's just going to be an owlbear for a little bit till he gets here, and then I'll have to work some internet magic. Uh, Beyond that, though, let's jump right into the story because we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger last week. So, just to kind of bring everyone back in, um, last week the party had kind of gotten into the thick of trying to figure out how the pedestal worked and trying to open the door and everything for the gnomes and dwarves that lived there. Because it was going to take at least a full day of work, if not multiple days to weeks, even. Um, Kata and Avok decided to find other ways to help out, seeing as they were not particularly fond of the idea of staring at books and symbols for 8 hours. So they went out and they decided to go exploring of the ocean around the cave that you guys are in, because the cave itself um, had uh, had a big chunk that had broken off of it and fallen into the ocean. So you guys wanted to look around and discover any ruins or anything, see what you could learn that way. While they were out, they got attacked by these two sharks, which normally wouldn't be that big a deal, but these sharks were remarkably intelligent and tactical sharks, to the point where both Avok and Kata were starting to think something was up. And that was the point when both sharks shrunk down into these strange gnomish creatures that they'd never seen before. And as soon as they realized that obviously these uh, creatures were magical, they cast cones of cold and left Kata and Avok as adventure sickles. While that was happening, or while they were digging themselves out, Willow and Fade spent most of the day kind of learning as much as they could, and Willow was about at a point of reaching a breakthrough when suddenly the gate opened, and these creatures they'd never seen before came in with apparently the express purpose of capturing Willow. And after a rather brilliant fight, and effort made from Fade and Willow, they were able to succeed and took Willow back through the portal. Um, when that happened, Fade, there was one prisoner that Fade was able to get, and Fade and Avox spent uh, the next few moments interrogating him with some pretty extreme means. While that was happening, Willow, on the other side, found herself in a place she had never seen before. It was craggy, and uh, it was becoming more and more obvious to her that these two races here had similarities to the dwarves and the gnomes, but were definitely their own kind of sub race at least. And she was realizing she didn't really want to be in the position she was in. So she took some initiative and used her magic to dimension door herself the hell away from these guys. And while yes, she was able to find a spot where she could hide long enough to cast her Mordenkainen's magnificent tavern, um, she's still in a place she doesn't know. Completely not only separated from her friends, but now also separated from the one way she knows to get home. And with that, we are going to come back to the group. Willow, you are able to get a full night's rest, but in the tavern, it just doesn't feel right. The tavern itself is never been as noisy as a real tavern, simply from lack of patrons. But you always had Avok and Kata and Fade there, so it never felt empty or anything. But this past night, there's been nothing. And
Um,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that I would have immediately cast sending to let them know I was okay.
Okay.
So,
And I think we might have mentioned that at the end of the last session. Um, but we'll deal with that when we get back to that party. When you wake up, the first thing you notice is just this kind of overwhelming feeling of nothing. Like you walk out of your room and there's food there, like there normally is, but there's no one else there to eat with.
but like there's still the specters and everything. Just
Yeah, the
my friends aren't there.
specters there,
Okay.
but
Alright.
again, they're hollow, illusional
Sure,
constructs,
sure.
and you don't really understand completely why. But you just the emptiness of the tavern and the lack of your friends is just weighing incredibly heavily on you. And eventually, you start kind of gauging the time and everything, and you uh, decide to finally venture out of the mansion. And as you do, a cold wind blasts you in the face and freezes you right down to your bones. You kind of steady yourself and move forward, but you can just everything around here is just dark and dank and almost kind of haunted feeling. As you look around at the area around you, you're finally able to get a full view of this city you're in, and it looks something like this. And I can show the audience as well. So, go right there. Um, so you are currently on the top of this tower, um, actually on one of the battlements that's kind of correct a little bit, and you're roughly around 200 feet in the air.
Okay.
And so, yeah, you can see most of the city, and the things that you notice again. There's all these crags and uh, uh, there's all these crags and cracks in the landscape. You do see uh, kind of like residential areas, and then more industrial looking areas and things like that. But they all seem very worn down, very weather worn, and even looking up, you're obviously um, on the water somewhere. You're on an island somewhere, but as you look at the sky, you don't see any clouds, but it feels like it's overcast and rainy. And as you look around, everything just kind of has this darkish feel to it. Even the sunlight that peeks through the sky doesn't feel fully like sunlight. Um, as you kind of gain your bearings, um, why don't you make me a perception check?
Okay.
Just get things rolling.
4.
All right. So up there, you're still a little overwhelmed from just where you are and kind of the alien feeling to it that you don't completely notice until they're almost on top of you that there are patrols going around the tower trying to find you.
She would not have stepped outside of the door. Like, she might have stuck her head out, but like,
Okay, they're still looking for you.
sure. But
Hmm.
if if she notices that eventually, it's immediately close the door to go back in.
Okay, so is that what you want to do? Is as soon as you, because they're by the time you notice, like they're starting to climb battlements and stuff like that. By the time you notice, they're about 30 feet away.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay, so you shut it. Now I believe sound doesn't pass through the barrier once it's closed, right?
Correct. And it is invisible.
All right, so you're in there. You close it. You can feel the warmth of the tavern again, kind of warming you up, and the kind of chill from the outside is starting to fade away. Um, how long do you want to wait?
Uh, probably wait until she can hear from her friends again to know if they've had any luck with the portal. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to resolve the previous ending, if there was any conversation there, or if she should cast it again. But
Uh, well, let's do it this way because casting sending between planes does have a failure rate. So why don't we
that's the point.
have you roll that then, just to
Okay.
see if it goes, or actually, because I forgot about it. Yeah, go ahead and roll it, and we'll go from there. Because there's other things you don't know about.
Okay. Um, it just says that there's a 5% chance it won't go through. So do you want me to
So yeah,
roll?
just a percentile, or actually no, we can just use a D20, and if you get a nat
Oh,
one,
and you have a fade.
if you get a nat one, it doesn't work.
Okay. Nope. 17.
Okay, so yeah, you as you're casting it, um, as you attempt to send the message, something is wrong. You can feel the spell working the way it's supposed to, and you feel like it's getting, like it's going in the right direction, if that makes sense. But there's something wrong with it that's preventing it from working the exact way you want it to. Um, what do you want to say?
So the previous night would have been,
Mhm.
uh, I'm okay. I got away. I'm in the tavern. Can you get the portal back open?
Okay. Let's head
So that's
back.
to fade.
Yep. Let's head back and let's see if we've got Faye because we got his picture.
Mm-hmm.
He's having some computer issues from the looks of it.
And I just need to real quick. Uh,
Oh boy.
I love you. Roll 20.
I don't.
We will be right back in just a second while I reset up the windows.
Ah, there he is.
Hold up. Hold up.
Hi, we're back, and we have a fade. Hooray! So, um, just to help me remember, Willow, what was the message again?
I'm okay. I got away. I'm in the tavern. Can you get the portal back open?
Okay, so fade. Um, as you're kind of getting into the end of your interrogation of this uh, new creature, the other gnomes and dwarves kind of come in towards the end as you're flaying and healing him. Um, and you're a little too focused on that to notice, but Avok and Kata, you guys would both notice the other townspeople around you seem genuinely put off by what's happening in front of them, and you guys can react to it however you would like to. Uh, but eventually, one of the kind of leaders of the group comes in, and as Fade's about to start the torture again, kind of puts a hand on his gauntlet and just gives him this look of worry and disgust, and seems incapable of saying anything. He just kind of puts his hand and stares at you for a moment. Fade.
What does he look like?
He's a younger dwarf. His beard is just getting past the point where it's just on his chin. Um, and so it's got a little bit of length. It's all red hair, and he's got this kind of really dark skin. Though you can't tell if that's his natural skin pigment or if it's just grime and dirt.
Could I take him? I turn and look at him. Size him up.
Doesn't seem to be in an aggressive stance. He's just kind of very slowly put himself in between you and the prisoner, and he seems incapable of speaking. He keeps trying to speak and nothing's coming out. And
I don't.
Go ahead.
I just look at him and, who are you? Can you help me get her back? Do you know how to open this portal? What can you do? Who are you?
Please stop.
Fed looks at Kata. She's gone. They took her.
I take it.
That doesn't mean you have to torture him.
And as she says that, Fade, you hear in just the back of your head this. It starts off as just kind of a discomfort, like not even a headache per se, but just like a pressure at the base of your skull, and it starts to buzz, and the noise starts to get louder and louder, and suddenly you can hear this voice, but it sounds like it's being like shouted down a tunnel or something like that, very far off. And you're not able to figure out all the words, but you do hear I'm okay. You hear the word tavern, and you hear open the portal. And you get this feeling, as you have before when a sending spell has been cast toward you, that you have the ability to respond, but as soon as you come to that realization, everything just stops. The spell just ends before you can do anything, and you've never seen that happen before. But you do recognize the voice as Willow's.
Hey.
At this point, like, he's coherent, like, everybody's talking at him. And I just kind of look at Avok and I kind of look back at the portal. And is our assistant, the guy carrying all the books, is he, or the guy that was helping Will out, basically, is he down here yet?
He's well, make me a perception check. You were kind of laser focused on this guy, so the entire city could have come around you, and you probably wouldn't have noticed.
I agree with that assessment. Total 14. I rolled a 4.
So you're finally kind of the tunnel vision is clearing finally, and you're looking around, and you can see the room itself has started to fill with people. All of them have this look of concern on their face, and you can see the gentleman you were working with before is near the entrance, speaking with a bunch of other much older dwarves and gnomes.
So, like you said, kind of coming back. I look at Avok.
Just to let you know, Avok is sitting on the, I guess POW would be the appropriate.
Nice. Yeah. I think I stand up and like legit booming voice. Like, if anyone has any ideas on how to open this portal, step forward right now.
And finally, you see the gnome that actually led you down here comes over, and everyone else is again the tunnel vision just slowly clearing itself off. You're starting to notice most of the people in the room are giving you a very wide berth, except the ones that are armed, who are very slowly moving towards you. They don't have their weapons drawn. They have kind of their hands up like they're dealing with a wild animal, but they're slowly moving towards you in a very tactical manner.
Sure.
And you see your gnomish friend come up and go, "What? We need to get him out of here before we could talk about anything. Do you not even realize what you've done?"
No, care to explain, please? And make it simple. I don't have all day.
Did we do something bad?
I don't think we did.
You just see him at this loss for words, and he goes over to the guy that Avok is sitting on, and he goes over and he looks at the scars still left, but just due to how quickly you were healing and cutting again, there are a lot of scars on this sky. And so he comes over, and you hear him whisper some words and make some movements, and you watch as healing magic rushes over him, and you watch as the prisoner's muscles slack a little bit. You can see his breathing gets slightly as easy as it can get with an Avok on him. And then your gnomish friend turns to Avok. "Get off him! How can you treat any living creature like this?"
I'm a soldier, so I have an excuse.
And in reaction, kind of.
So yeah, he attacked first. Him and his.
Okay, and then Kata, you were sitting.
Yes,
Kind
thank you.
Emotion fully overcomes her, and in reaction, she tries to turn to a cat. Realizes she can't because she used up her wild shape and hadn't rested, and she just runs and like
As you're having this just kind of emotional turmoil, you suddenly feel a hand on your shoulder, and you see your gnomish friend just there going, I understand. Just we'll take care of this. Don't worry.
we're sorry.
And he kind of nods, and he just kind of pets your head, going, "It's all right. I know this is not who you are." And then he turns back to Avok. "Please, get off him, so I may treat him."
I'll get off him when he tells me how to open the portal.
No. You will get off him now. And for the first time, you see a change in him. The entire time you've known him, he's just been this very kind of amicable, welcoming, kind of old, almost grandpa-like figure. But now his stance is changing. He's no longer leaning on his staff incredibly.
I just send him out. I try sending to Willow. I just tell her to stay put.
And as you cast the spell, you've had this happen once before. I think it was scrying, and it might not have been you, but you're familiar with this. Whereas you try to send it, nothing happens, as if you're trying to send it to something that doesn't exist. And since you know she does, the only explanation, she's in like an scrying anti-divination magic zone. So as you're doing that, going back to him, Balthazar, whom I could not for the life of me remember his name, is no longer leaning heavily on his staff. He's now stood up straight, holding his staff. He's kind of puffed his chest out, and you can feel just a power from him you haven't seen before. And he just...
From the gnome who was excited about books?
No, the guy that brought you here. Was that...
Well, that was a dwarf. And...
Are we talking about the gnome that you made friends with?
Yeah,
the gnome with the books that worked in the underwater farms is Balthazar.
Right.
Yeah, the one
the gnome who we wind walked with.
Yes, the one you wind walked with. That's the one I'm talking about.
That's a different name. Hold on.
Sorry, folks. My memory is really, really bad, so my players are being kind enough to help me. However, whatever his name is, he's now looking at Avok straight in the eye, and has said with just a kind of quiet power, "No, you will get off him now, and we will discuss the atrocity you've committed later."
I love how
He's laughing.
they attacked. This is fantastic. It's just fantastic. Avok gets up and just walks off. Fuck all y'all. Actually, no, he walks towards the portal and just starts banging on it. Open up, you piece of fucking shit.
Okay. So as that happens, you watch as a lot of about half of the about 18, almost 20 armored figures that have been moving towards, half of them kind of move forward more to kind of put themselves in between where Fade is and the guy, and about 3 of the remaining ones go over and kind of pick him up and take him off, as your gnomish friend just kind of looks at Fade and Avok, shakes his head, and walks off with them. And as he's going, he kind of turns to Kata and just reaches his hand out. You don't need to be here, young one. Besides, we could use someone of your talents.
Okay.
And they walk off. Fade, now all of the armored people that are not focused on Avok are now all coming around you, and one of them takes out a pair of manacles and kind of holds them out.
Can I help you?
Do I hear this from the
I mean,
portal?
it's a big empty room. It's not like they're being quiet.
Gotcha. Avok turns around, and I assume I see the mate. It's like, okay, what the fuck is this? This is bullshit!
And one of the guards goes, "What you have done would be considered a war crime."
A war crime. Okay, last I checked, we were at war with dragons, not these guys. These guys came out of nowhere and attacked us. Dipshit.
We will not stand for treating prisoners that way. You will come with us, and
I'm sorry we were a little fucking emotional.
A tribunal will decide your fate.
Fuck your tribunal. I ain't going fucking anywhere.
And you see them start readying weapons. We have been
Rage up,
authorized.
spikes out. Spikes out. I am not
Okay.
tolerating this shit.
All right. Go ahead.
You want to start with me? Bring it, motherfuckers.
God.
I'm very happy about this.
All right.
I only have a full hit for so long before some bullshit like this happens.
Oh no. No.
Am I standing next to the pedestal still, or no?
Good question. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
Let me switch his back there.
No, I'm at the. Well, no, I left the portal to come talk to the guy.
Yeah. I would say the guy probably wasn't right next to the pedestal, so I'm going to say you're probably right there. We got a dude there. So he doesn't exist anymore. Avok, go ahead and put your tokens wherever you like on the map.
Oh no.
Did I get my token? Come on.
If you give me just a second, I'm going to get...
Okay. Got it.
Sorry, guys. I wasn't actually expecting a fight.
Well, you should have been if this is how they were going to treat us.
It's weird. It's kind of like watching someone torture a prisoner of war. Sets people off.
Enemy combatant, not a prisoner of war. He is not restrained. He is being sit on during a fight.
Per D&D rules, that counts as restrained. I had no idea there's so many free assets. So in Roll20, so I'm just using as many as I can to keep track of everything. All right, so Avok, you're up there. We're gonna put him. Where's the there? Put him there. So sorry, folks that are watching. I'm just setting a combat here. Okay, and then the rest are going to be around Fade.
It's probably a good thing that Tucker's not here. She probably would have joined them.
Yeah, kind of stubborn, but she also knows when to surrender.
And you're actually going to be there.
Be right back.
Not a problem. Faye, go ahead and roll initiative for me.
You got it. I need a good roll, please. Yeah, cleric.
You
Yeah,
rolling
also-
like me?
No one rolls as bad as you, Jody.
She also
you,
feels like everything is her fault right now. he needs a lot of time to calm down.
So Fade gets a 14 on his initiative roll.
I'm just going to have all the enemies act on one initiative because it's just easier for me. Right, and I don't have Avok yet. What was it, a 14?
That's for Fade.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang
That's
on.
fine. Avok, if you could give me an initiative 2.
That's an 11.
Okay. And you are already raged and spiked before initiative was rolled.
Damn, Skippy.
So the dwarves are going to go first. And the first one's going to go is you notice the husband of your gnomish friend that you'd had the little, not really fight, but altercation with previous, runs up to you and faster than someone of his age you think should be able to move. He comes up and delivers this spinning kick to your head. That's a nat 1. Does a nat 1 hit you?
No, he jams his toe on a spike.
Yeah. So he goes up and he kicks and just you doesn't even crack the spike you block it with. Just as quickly he spins around with a back fist.
Okay.
That's a lot better. That's a 22. Or sorry, 23. My bad.
That would hit. I'm just looking at my.
Just cast shield, Avok.
Yeah. Why aren't you casting shield and expeditious retreat?
I'm not playing my level 6 rogue, so no, I can't.
Dude,
Let's
you're almost unlike my Dragonborn.
Wait, I used my reaction to cast shield and now my AC is in the 20s.
I had a blade singer that could blink
Alright.
and then shields that.
Alright.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. As a reaction, I'm going to use my plates of aggressive defense. So, what did he roll at first attack?
Is it 23?
Okay, I'm going to roll an attack to challenge that. That is a 24.
24. Remind me, since he technically we treat it as if he hit you and did no damage, he takes the damage from your spikes, right?
Okay, let me start. Okay, so on a successful block the attack and no damage, and take no damage while the attack, but it still takes damage from your spikes of piercing if they are active. So, yeah, he does take damage, which would be.
I think it's a D6.
Yes, it is.
So go ahead and do this D6 as the back fist comes around, and you can see it a little bit faster than you can react. So you just grow the plates because he's actually punching at your kidneys. So you extend some spikes out and grow them hard, and the back fist hits your side. Destroys the plates there. 5 damage. Thank you. Destroys the plates there. And you still feel the impact go through your entire body. There was so much force behind it. It doesn't do any damage, but you're very surprised as he pulls his hand back, and there's blood running down his arm. And he's not even slowing down. He comes back with a kick to your solar plexus.
Okay.
Math is hard. 14?
Misses.
As you just bat it away. And then he goes around to kick you in the temple. It's a little better. 17?
Misses.
Damn. So after he sits there and does this flurry, he kind of just sits back, not saying anything. There's no anger on his face. He's very calm. With that, since that did not work the way I wanted it to, they're gonna change things up. This guy here, who's got a warhammer and a shield, runs towards you and smacks you with his shield. And I'm to remember how this works. Yeah, but believe it's a strength contest.
Okay, go.
He's charging and knocking you down.
Okay.
There's another way to do it. Wow, I'm sucking so bad, but I don't want to futz with it right now. I don't think you can roll low enough. I think I got a. Well, it's theoretically possible. I got a 13.
All right, and this is a strength check.
Yes, yes, strength contest. Your strength versus his.
Okay.
I think your modifier is almost enough to beat that.
Not to mention I'm raging, so I have advantage, and that's a nat 20.
So yeah, he comes up and bashes you with his shield, and you just kind of take it, and you scoot back about a quarter of an inch, and you're still kind of impressed with how strong these guys are, but compared to you, they're really not doing much. And you watch as this dwarf with the shield kind of. You see this look of regret on his face, and then he just whips his warhammer around at your head. And that's a 19.
That'll hit.
Right.
I want to take his warhammer from him.
Right now?
Yes.
How?
I'm going to try to disarm him using my reaction thing.
Oh,
never mind. He's too far away.
I was about to say, yeah, he's on the other side of the room, and you don't have your shadow charge yet, so. It's 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and he swings around one more time.
That's half to 4.
Say again?
8 points, half to 4.
Yep. And then another 19 for 7, so 3.
Okay.
And the rest of these guys are, he's a caster, so he's going to stay back. The rest of these guys are going to surround you, and I'm just going to roll a couple attacks, or 3 attacks for the 2 melee guys next to you.
Okay.
First one's a 20.
That's
18.
just good.
23.
That's
And 15.
misses.
Alright, so 2 hits with the scythe.
Oh.
Which you're just going to treat as a great sword. I think I'm typing that wrong. There we go. So you take a grand total of 20 damage from that, half to 10. And the guy with the spear. Oh, he already hit. I just need. Those are d8s.
You only hit once.
You're right. So the second doesn't count. So it's 10 half to 5.
Okay.
This guy is going to take a slightly different path. And I need a wisdom save from you. I believe.
Okay.
I might be wrong. Fade. Hold per person. Wisdom save?
Yep.
Thank you. I should have my book next to me. Next time I will.
19.
19. So you feel you were rolling crazy good, dude. You guys have been doing really well on the rolls. You feel, you see these rings of light just descend from the heavens, and they start tightening around your body, and you feel them pressing your spikes actually into your own skin. And as you sit there, just start getting more and more angry as they're causing you pain and preventing you from move. You just burst out of them. And that is his turn, and this dude's just going to pop you twice between the eyes. No, he's not. Because that's a 12,
This
and that's an 11.
is
So two crossbow bolts just go streaming past. With Fade, yeah, I need a charisma save from you.
100.
It's a hell of a D20.
17.
Math. Just barely. All right, so you feel yourself start, like you feel your mind begin to wander, and you feel yourself almost feels like you're falling, but nothing's moving, and then it almost feels like the world itself is falling away from you, and suddenly you kind of focus yourself and you're back to where you are, and having crossed planes before, you, and having used this spell a few minutes ago, you know that you almost got banished there. The
Could I
guy,
see who did it?
yeah, it's this dude that's further away from you. The dude that's like, I'm not getting near him, and he actually moves a little further away since he can do just fine from over there. However, the rest of these dudes are going to try some other things. The one directly in front of you has a staff that's a little bit thinner and more flexible than most staffs you've seen. And but before you can even realize what he's doing, he spins it around and brings it around to smack you right in the temple. But I'm the one rolling. Well, a 20. I mean, it's better than nothing. Though with you, I'm not sure that does anything. Fade, does a 20 hit you?
I'll shield. No.
Okay, so he comes around, and as he strikes at you, you can see it coming, but it's just a little too fast for you to bring your gauntlet up. So you immediately just feel magical energy flow through you, and the shield comes up, and boom, shit. So he spins around and tries to crack you again with it. Slightly better. 24?
Yep.
And this time he goes straight through the shield, cracking your other temple. That's good. This, and I need a wisdom save from you, which I sincerely doubt that's going to do anything, but we'll try.
27.
It's never going to do anything to you. However, you do take 15 points of damage from the strike. And then he's just going to slam the staff down and kind of bring his arm around and just stare at you as he gets into a defensive stance, just to make things go a little bit smoother. The rest of the guys are all going to take this dude and this dude are going to take 3 swings. This one and this one will take 2. So grand total of 6 attacks, and I'm just going to roll them like that. So lowest is a 19. What is your AC right now?
24.
24. So 20 misses. 25 hits, 26 hits, 19 misses, 22 misses. So it's 1, 2, 3 hits, 3 misses. And it's actually one of each. So axe dude. It's a 1. 6. Because I roll awesome. Hand axe is gonna be an 8. I rolled a 2. 7 damage for that one, and then the third attack is what's it? The third oh, it's another D6. A little better. 9. Got that?
That. Yep. I'm down to 46.
So that's all of them. The first one up of you guys is going to be you, Fade.
As like he's waving his arms and magical shields up, like you guys, like some of you are going to die here unless you stop. They started this shit. Like he's going to kill most of you. I'll probably only kill one of you. Or you could just chill the fuck out and put those manacles away. You don't know what we've been through. We're trying to help you idiots get your damn city back. That's been gone for how many hundreds of years?
They do not seem to be swayed by your words.
Can you make a persuasion check to try that?
No, because he cannot roll high enough to do it.
I misty step and walk over to the caster and hold my gauntlet blades up to his neck.
Okay.
Like you will die now. That's going to happen unless you chill the fuck out. You're not taking me away. No crime was committed. They abducted someone. How about we look into that first? Like, he's still here.
Yeah, he is in a defensive stance. Obviously, you can't completely get them up to his neck because he's going to try and block it. But you're in a threatening position. You haven't used your action yet. He doesn't seem to be backing down. And again, none of them seem angry or anything. They all have very dead set faces.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna walk out. I'm done with this. So I probably misty stepped and moved. It looked like probably 2 or 3 spaces. I'm just gonna dash and run up the stairs out the door.
Okay.
And I'm gonna yell for Kata. They're about to kill Avok. They're traitors.
As that happens, you would actually run into the dozen more guards that were on their way.
Then I probably wouldn't have tried to dash past them. Instead, I will.
You can get to the like you wouldn't be able to see them till you got to the door.
If there's a dozen guards, I'd hear them.
With all the combat going on from a completely separate room?
I'm standing in the back of the room, Avok's in the front of the room.
Alright. What do you want to do? There's a dozen more guards coming.
I put my gauntlet to my own throat and cast Inflict Wounds at 6th level.
On yourself or in the gauntlet?
On myself.
Ah, boy.
Oh.
Which will be a lot of damage.
Well, yeah.
6 level inflict wounds.
Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it!
He's not gonna die. He's gonna be unconscious probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think even Fade can cast it.
But this is gonna shit real fucking quickly.
Yeah.
2.
Maybe not unconscious. You said you were like
I
what,
was
46?
about to say, if you survive that, that's impressive. 'Cause that's a pretty badass
I
spell.
I feel like I kill myself out of it. Like there's no point.
No!
You're not there. You're not
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Just chillax.
I understand, Kate.
Yeah, no. Fade drops himself. That happens.
No.
Okay.
I'd say since I'm not moving, I'd crit myself. So make that 84.
But
He's-
doesn't he have Death Ward up? So
No, that dropped a while ago. What are you talking about?
Oh. Did it?
I don't think so.
It's really funny. I guess the real question is, Fate, I know you did Deathward Willow every morning. Do you did Deathward yourself as well?
Yes, but I fall to the ground, looking to be unconscious after unleashing a huge burst of magic.
that's
They think I'm dead.
Perfectly fine. Roll me a performance check.
Oh, so I can roll a check here. Got it.
There's
Performance is +1. 1d20 +1 is a 3.
Oh boy.
Okay. So
I start coughing. It hurts. Hurts a lot.
So you land on the ground. The guy nearest you rushes over and clamps.
Look what he did! Look what he did to me!
Clamps some
He did the same thing! He did the
manacles
same thing!
on you
Arrest him!
before you can do anything else to yourself. Apparently, Avok, it's your turn.
I'm just gonna toss people around.
Which is fine. Again, you had, I think, two different people come up and try and just take you down without killing you, and you simply shrugged it off. So if you want to start picking up and throwing people, there will be checks involved. But
Yeah, I'm gonna take this guy, throw him into this guy, and I'll take this guy right here and throw him into this.
So that'll
guy
be
right.
more than you can do in a single turn. But you can definitely try and pick up one and throw it into another.
That uses my extra attack.
I guess you have an extra. Well, because you're technically picking up a weapon, which is interacting with an object, and then you're throwing that, which is an action, not an attack. That's where I was coming up. But let's see how the first one goes. Because you're not trained in wielding a dwarf, it'll be a flat roll because you have advantage on all strength checks.
What, they're not considered simple weapons?
They may be simple. They're not weapons generally.
Okay, day. Anyways, so what am I doing again?
Just an athletics check of flat one.
Sounds good to me. All right, athletics. That is a 22.
Yeah, you picking up. Just roll me a straight dex attack roll. Seen as aiming him to hit another target is what's going to be the hard thing. You have more than enough strength to toss him.
Fair enough. All right, so just use my dex.
Yeah, just a dex attack roll. So
Okay,
without proficiency.
gotcha. Oh, 22.
Yeah. I don't know how much damage a dwarf flying through the air does. Let's call because this is a big dwarf. Let's call it 3d10. That sounds good. Roll
Who's
me
roll?
3d10, Avok.
Okay. $22.
Damn, you rolled good. So you sit there and you throw him. You watch him fly through the air, collide with the caster. They both end up in a pile on the floor, entangled in each other and trying to get up. It looks like the caster took the brunt of the damage. The armor and everything of the other guys seems to have absorbed at least a little of it for him. Then you wanted to try the other guy.
Yep.
Same thing, athletics, and then if you make it, dex.
Alright. Athletics. Natural 20 on the athletics.
Yeah, you're fine. You know what? Don't even roll the dex then with a nat 20. Just roll the 3d10.
Let's get this time. Actually, 16.
Yeah, this same thing happens. So that takes care of that. Just because Fade is out of the picture right now, to speed things along, I'm kind of going. Avok, what do you want to do in this fight? Obviously, the odds are getting overwhelming, and Fade is effectively unconscious. Do you want to fight until unconsciousness? Do you want to try and escape? Do you want to try and go grab Fate on the way? Like, what do you want the result of this to be?
Fight until unconscious.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d12.
Okay. 10.
Before going unconscious, you kill 10 of the guards.
I was not ever planning to kill him. I
Okay,
just tossed it.
you render unconscious. You defeat 10 guards before they're able to take you down. If you're trying to be non-lethal, then you wouldn't kill them. But just for your own preservation, you would break arms, smash knees, things like that they can live with, but would effectively prevent them from attacking you. Does that sound like something you do?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that happens. Unfortunately for right now, my anxiety is getting a little bit high, just because that's what it does. So, unfortunately, that's where I'm going to end this session tonight. But we will pick back up on this in a couple weeks. So thank you so much for everyone that tuned in. If you missed any of the episode, I do put all of them up on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Trainer Jody. Otherwise, that's all for me tonight, and I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.